Molar mass calculations. What is this thing, the mole, that gets used in chemistry? There is no way we can count individual particles. We can count how many people are sitting at the table, but we cannot count how many particles are in a sample. What we can do is measure the mass using a mass scale of a group of particles found in a pure substance. The mole is a counting unit that connects the number of items in a sample with the mass of that sample in grams. So, what do we mean by this? How can we measure the mass of a group of particles? Here are three pure substances. Each shows a different mass in grams on the scale. Each is a different pure substance. In the center, there's an element, and on each side, there are two compounds. All three pictures represent 1 mole. 1 mole of copper sulfate, 1 mole of aluminum, and 1 mole of sodium chloride. Take a look in the center. The aluminum contains a few silver pellets, about 1 layer thick. It has a relatively small mass compared to the one on the left, copper 2 sulfate. That heaping, almost overflowing container also contains 1 mole of those blue crystals with a much greater mass. We're all familiar with the stuff you can put on French fries to make them taste a whole lot better, sodium chloride. And you see that its molar mass is slightly greater than that of aluminum, and we have a tray that is only half full, far different from what we saw for copper sulfate. But each of those contains exactly 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd individual particles of that pure substance. So why are there different masses? Copper sulfate is made of copper, sulfur, and oxygen. And to get that value of close to 59.61 grams, we have 1 copper, 1 sulfur, and 4 oxygens in every formula unit for the compound. So, if I say that I've got 1 mole of copper, and each mole of copper weighs an atomic mass unit, 63.55, and I can say I have 1 mole of sulfur reflected in the compound, and each sulfur atom weighs 32.06 atomic mass units, and I have 4 moles of oxygen, each oxygen weighing 16 atomic mass units. I find that by totaling them all, that 1 mole weighs 159.61 grams. I notice I've said molar mass. Molar mass covers a lot of different things. For the element like aluminum, we're talking about the atomic mass that you're familiar with seeing on the periodic table. For the molecules like water, sugar, we often use the term molecular mass rather than molar mass. For salts, like the copper sulfate and the sodium chloride, the correct term would be the formula mass or formula unit mass for a salt. It's just easier to call all three molar mass, which covers each of them.